What's going on, everybody? I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by Char Kurt.
What's up?
Continuing forward with Secret Invasion, thanks so much for joining us again. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing a cut-down version of our reaction, as we can only show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture, but if you want to watch the whole thing with us, no cuts, no interruptions, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKuwait, or become a member of this channel. You'll get access to the full uncut reaction, but you will need your own Disney Plus subscription, so you can open up each episode. In an adjacent window to our reaction, we give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync, and it's like you're watching with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go.
1995, what a year.
Been riding the desk for the past.
Whoa.
Coming from.
Official S.H.I.E.L.D. activity.
Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
They won't be safe.
Oh.
They need them on home.
Was that... Did we see his wife go down there? Is that what happened?
Was that his wife going down?
I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
Because why? Because his kid was surprised.
I'd like you to meet someone. This is Gravik.
Gravik.
Oh, what? They got history together? Oh, I guess they talked about that in the previous episode. I just missed it.
He escaped from behind enemy lines, piloted a ship all on his own.
Wow.
Sorry to hear about your parents.
They died a brilliant death.
You know it's very dangerous.
Wow.
Thank you all for joining me.
Nice work on the effects, huh?
I know, it's crazy.
All of us have lost someone. For those of you who braved the journey here to Earth, you know I don't use that word lightly.
The world is facing a serious threat. This is the promise. While you work to keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one. You have a courageous mother, Gaia.
Yeah. And they're putting a lot of trust in him, though.
You keep your word,
I'll keep mine.
But did you?
Anyone walking calmly out of a terrorist activity is always like, that would be my first suspect.
I was thinking the same.
I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm an American.
Yeah, like, as if the Russians care that you're an American, sir. Oh.
They did some really nice VFX on Sam Jackson. And it wasn't like they cut away to save on the budget. Like, the camera was just holding on him for a very long time. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that shot wasn't cheap, for sure.
He looked really good.
Yeah. I mean, it looked just as good as the movie, Captain Marvel.
tell me something I don't know about the Skrulls that fled.
They're here.
Who's here?
All million of them?
All of us.
Wow.
Wait, whoa. You're telling me there's 1 million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian-ass mind?
Every Skrull that isn't in Emperor George's colony, they answered.
You lied to me.
Hey, we were being hunted across the universe. What happens when the host disappears? Huh? Because you were gone.
Right.
You knew how to get in touch with me, Talos, and you didn't because you didn't want me to know.
Skrulls and humans can coexist here on Earth.
Humans can't coexist with each other, Talos. We've been at war with each other since we could walk upright. There is not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species.
Why would he do that? That's just...
Yeah.
You're putting himself more at risk.
Well, I mean, he just, received a bomb.
Yeah.
I also don't blame
Talos
for what he did. I mean, I would do the same.
Yeah. She's gonna slap him.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's expected.
Right.
Were you there?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
We were there trying to stop the attack. Someone wanted to hurt me, so they hurt her.
Oh.
So, you're the reason I'm taking my daughter back home in a box. I don't know what Maria died for out there, but whatever it was, don't let it be for nothing.
I guess that went a little bit better than we thought.
I'm glad she didn't slap him, because that's very cliche.
I wanted to see how much of him was left. You don't punish a man by giving him what he wants. You just get me to the council meeting. I want to see their faces while Moscow's still burning.
I'm not familiar with this actor. He has a very unassuming face, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of perfect.
Nushkim pix kolos bichorakias. Udrikag makel mekik. Chirog chechom kust. Gangok. Kajushat mushamp. Pichochagnas kajak. Garuma arwar mij. Nas kajak. Nas. Pashach.
Why can't we all just share it?
And unlike the last war each one of us around this table fought in, I'm not going to lose this one.
We need to streamline our chain of command.
You were in on this with him the entire time.
Sit yourself down, Sergio. I'm not done yet.
Who do you think you're talking to? I'm the commander of NATO. I can mobilize 1 million troops at the snap of...
Shall I remove him, madame?
Oh, I don't think he'll be any more trouble.
Oh, gosh.
All those in favor of Gravik as our new general will submit.
Oh, trust they'll notice who's the last one to stand.
I fear each one of you has forgotten our history. We did not end up homeless refugees because we were unwilling to wage war. We ended up homeless refugees because we were too willing. I will not support your war. And I do not submit.
Wow.
If I had another 100 like you, I could take on the universe. You go in peace, sister. You'll not be harmed.
They're gonna kill her in front of her.
No.
No?
No.
Interesting. I thought it might be a message. She's gonna die, though.
They couldn't give that Asian dude one line. Not even a single word to say, just like looks left and right. Not one line. Everybody had a line in there except for him.
Gravik, the council just voted him general. He has control of our people and our future. If there's anything I can do.
Yeah, set up a meet between me and Gravik.
You don't understand. Gravik has changed.
So have I.
But if you can't keep it together, you will not walk out alive.
Shirley, I want to talk about my daughter.
He let her free for a reason, though.
Oh, word got back fast.
Yeah.
Harvest wasn't there.
I was told this phase would be over.
So was I. Gravik has given me multiple locations for the harvest, all of them empty.
Who or what are they harvesting?
Anything else, Dr. Dalton?
Yes. Your absence.
Oh ho.
Burn.
Be gone, bitch. I have no idea what they're harvesting. It has something to do with their population and...
Yeah, probably.
How do you explain Mr. Fury's presence in Moscow?
Alleged presence. Slovakia rolls its eyes at me one more time, I'm gonna put on the suit and carpet bomb. Rhodes.
Nice suit, Armani. What's the matter? Croatia talking crap?
Slovakia.
Well, carpet bomb their ass.
Burner's Tavern, 1 o'clock. Do me a favor and try not to pop off a nuclear holocaust before you get there.
It's a pretty impressive bar. Wow, private.
It's got a very old school vibe to it.
Yeah.
How well do you know your security detail?
What do you mean, how much do I know about them?
What if I told you they were all spies? 9-state actors, global reach, borderless operations.
Hydra?
Yeah, if Hydra was a bunch of green guys who could shapeshift into your daddy.
The Pentagon was concerned that they might get into their heads to invade us one day from the inside.
That invasion is real.
That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's true. And here's the crazy part. We're being invaded and we can't even tell who the invaders are.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to back me on this.
I can't do it.
Ain't no can't in our business. There's only what you can do and what you will not do.
You're right. I should have said I'm not.
I remember when your job was protecting the planet.
We protect the planet by protecting our seat at the table.
Are you forgetting who helped you get your seat at the table?
Oh, so I owe you now?
Men who look like us don't get promoted because of who our daddies know. Every ounce of power we wrestle from the vice grip of the mediocre Alexander Pierces who run this world was earned in blood. Help a brother out. Have you even listened to a word that I said?
Yeah, I have. But you should know better than most. The reason we wrestled this power from mediocre men who don't look like us was not simply to turn around and hand it to mediocre men who do.
Whoa.
Damn. Whoa.
Compromising, to be unsparing, to be able to sit across from a man we greatly admire. That's what this moment right here, right now is about, Nick.
Damn.
Is it you to fire me?
And not to put too fine a point on this, but that mess that you created in Moscow that resulted in getting one of our best people murdered, you earned all this smoke, brother.
Wow. Rhodey?
Are you seriously under the impression that just because you stripped me of my titles, I relinquished my DNA?
Careful, Fury.
Whoa!
I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in.
Hell yeah, Nick.
Эта дверь была заперта.
Yes, and now that the door is unlocked, what does that tell you about me and doors?
Who are you?
I'm above your pay grade. Where is he?
I just love her because she looks so unassuming and she says everything so sweetly, but it's kind of mean.
Yeah.
Where is your safe house? Speak!
Didn't your mother ever warn you could lose an eye by beating your meat like that?
What's how you doing in here?
Oh, I'm taking over.
I wonder if that was on purpose. Dang. Okay. What are you doing? Oh!
Well, now that's confirmed. Let's party, shall we?
Oh. He started looking really scared.
Yeah.
I need to know where Graphic is and where he'll be.
I don't know, I swear. Graphic keeps everything a secret. He's building a machine.
What kind of machine?
I think it's to make us stronger.
Right. Like combining them with Groot DNA and all that. Yeah.
Who's leading the science?
Some married couple.
What's their name?
Graphic will kill me.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but if I don't get a name, Graphic won't get a chance to kill you.
Jeez. God.
Dalton. The name's Dalton.
Oh, you see, that wasn't so terribly difficult, was it?
Принеси мне колбасы, давай, иди! Быстрее!
I think that guy walked by and I was like, Skrull! Go get me a sausage. Wow. Woo! Poor man was just out there trying to get a sausage.
How come no one closes doors? Like, doesn't it just seem like a smart thing to do?
No, they don't close doors in movies and shows. Whoa! Ouch!
How very Dostoevsky.
What'd she say?
How very Dostoevsky.
I don't know. I don't get the reference.
That's a Russian author. What do we think? Is that guy alive or dead?
I thought he was alive.
Yeah, but his blood's been boiling at 160
true.
degrees centigrade.
Like, maybe he's out.
Oh no, he's fine.
I got him. Let's go.
Yep, but if he said anything, he's dead anyway, so...
Did we make it home, Peyton?
Yep. Yep, you did.
Almost there, bro.
He's witnessing this.
Yeah, exactly. So he knows what happens to people if they talk. He sees everything, I feel.
Some interesting artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Better?
Wow.
Almost.
He doesn't know.
Oh, you think he doesn't know? No, I think he does.
I don't think so.
He talked to her in the beginning. She was the one.
While an alien?
Yeah, she was the one that brought the bad guy when he was a kid. Wasn't it her?
Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention.
I mean, they
it's
obviously
very
like the look is very different, but I thought I recognized her voice.
It's just a little bit odd that they would start her off in Skrull form and then show her in human form. I thought that was an indication of something.
Maybe. I don't know.
But you might be right.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Nick Fury to be in a relationship.
Either way is interesting. Whatever direction it is, it's interesting. I mean,
either way.
Whether it's that he knowingly decided to pursue a relationship with a Skrull, or he is in a relationship with one and doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
Both are interesting directions.
It can play out
Yeah.
in many ways. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, how did you feel about this episode?
I liked it a lot better, actually. I mean, it's definitely getting more exciting as we're kind of seeing the plays that are being made and more of the plan that is being set in motion. And we get to see more of Gravik. That's his name, isn't it? Just kind of what type of character he is. He's really scary because, like you say, he seems kind of like unassuming, but then the way that his character is being played, it's like you can't really read him, or I'm having a hard time reading him, and all I see is him kind of watching, observing, and just kind of notating everything in his mind.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like you can put anything past this guy. You know, he probably has an idea that Gaia might be the one that ratted them out, but right now he's just observing. Watching, waiting.
It's an interesting episode. I also found it funny that you like this episode better, because I actually like the first episode better. I hate to put it any other way. This felt more Marvel to me. Whereas the first one felt more like mature. Although it got violent unexpectedly. I was like, what? Hold on a second. This is definitely more mature here. Like, it went back in that direction. By the last 20 minutes of the episode, it definitely got more serious. Some interesting dialogue, some interesting scene work.
Especially there were two scenes in particular that stood out to me. The scene on the train with Fury and Talos.
Yeah.
And then the scene with Rhodey and Fury. That was some really, really great acting there in both of those scenes. Like, it was really intense.
I liked it. I liked the episode overall. It just, whatever feeling I had from the first one, I didn't have as much in this one. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that does track with a lot of my experiences with Marvel shows, where the first episode might get me a lot better than the subsequent episodes. But I'm still holding out hope here because the content is still very interesting. The setup, the premise, the way they've expanded. Because, you know, like the whole idea of this council being comprised of secret Skrulls is so interesting, and that totally speaks to every conspiracy, like deep conspiracy theory, you know, that's all run by reptiles.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, actually, you might be right.
Yeah.
No, but there was like just so much emotion and history and everything in what was going on in those scenes, especially the one on the train, you know, where Fury's playing this game with Talos, right? And then finds out this information and like can't take it, and then throws out the one person who's like actually an ally,
who's protecting him,
who's helping him out, who's stuck by his side all this time, and now he's like alone. And then another, you know, betrayal, I guess, with Rhodey, where he gets fired, and it's like, okay, now you're fully alone. Like,
he's completely on.
No one's here to help you anymore.
Right.
You know?
I really like what they're doing in the scenes that you had mentioned. I like what they're aiming for. I just somehow feel like I can't escape the feeling of I wish they went deeper or harder or took more time with those scenes.
Sure.
Because to a certain degree, it still feels kind of like they're rushing through stuff, and I don't know why. It's like you have an hour to play with. You can add, it's like arbitrary that it's an hour. You can add 3 minutes to let some of these things play out a little bit longer.
Sure.
That scene on the train was nice. I would have maybe, I don't know, this is just a creative, subjective thing. Maybe not cut as much, you know? Maybe just have one angle and let these actors play and do their thing, but you got to chop it up to make that 55-minute mark and get all your coverage and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And so, well, because I was enjoying where it was going, and things feel fleeting when I wanted them to linger. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
You know, but like, okay, so now with 2 episodes, we've established the tone for sure. Like, it's cemented in my mind. Okay, this is how they're going about it. You're gonna get some scene work, but it's gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, thinking back to the first episode, that definitely had more of like an espionage movie feel.
Exactly.
And that established that tone.
Yeah.
And then coming into this episode, it's like, you know, probably like you say, getting more back into the Marvel stuff, and it's just like, okay, now we got to move on.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if they could go back or like
split the difference.
Find some more of that espionage scene, because that was actually really scary in the first episode, because you're like, wait, anyone could be anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the stuff that was really quite thrilling for me in that episode. But we're learning a bit more about the characters in this episode and just kind of setting up who they are, what they want, and all of that.
Well, the frightening thing is we have no idea how many of those million Skrulls are on the opposing side.
Exactly.
That's frightening. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like, oh, you know, I don't know how many Skrulls he thought there were, or if it was just like the ones that he knew about, maybe they just numbered a few thousand. But then to hear like, oh, actually it's 1 million. That's quite a significant number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's huge.
You mentioned something earlier that I had been wondering myself. It's like, the whole idea is that, for lack of a better word, these members of society, who no one realizes they are members of society, have been somehow mistreated, left to the side, discarded. How are they in a bad situation where they now need to uprise and overthrow Earth? That's kind of the question you were sort of asking, right?
Right, because I was saying, why can't we all just live together? And I wonder, it could just be that, you know, it probably is. It's so tiring and so uncomfortable to just have to wear a mask all the time.
Sure.
To have to pretend to be someone that you're not, when all you want to do is just be able to live your life as you are, freely expressing your culture and all of that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of parallels between other things, like obviously, you know, like just with refugees in general, and there's probably some sort of overlap with like minorities.
Sure.
Or
that's the more obvious one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like discrimination and all of that, you know. It's just kind of easier to see when it's like, oh, we're looking at aliens. You know.
Well, they are making a point to introduce some of that, what you just talked about, in Sam Jackson's dialogue. You know, he brought it up on the train, and he brought it up with Don Cheadle. You know, his history, the history of his people, and that's but I liked how Don Cheadle spun it.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, like, wow.
Yeah.
Those words were
hurtful,
strong and harsh.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. It was just unexpected. I didn't see him flipping the script that way.
Yeah.
You know, that just caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit.
Well, you know, he wasn't wrong in what he was saying. Like, theoretically, sure. You know, you and people like you might have worked really hard to get to where you are now, and you didn't have the same strings to pull like other people, right? But then, yeah, you didn't get all that way just to then give the power away to someone who's mediocre. But when you're saying that about Nick Fury, that hurts, because we all know that's not true.
Right.
But it was interesting to see how, like, after we see that badass Nick Fury come back, when he like completely disarmed that big old security guard and then like waltzed out of there like, psh, you can't fire me, I'm leaving, you know, and then he goes out and then he's like in the park just absolutely, you know,
exhausted,
wiped out emotionally, physically, everything.
I kind of wish, low-key, I mean, it would have been silly, but I probably would have cheered if Nick Fury would have been like, I'm Nick Fury, bitch, and then walked out. It would have kind of messed with the tone a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it would have been a nice moment for me. Or, you know, with it being Sam Jackson, he would have said the MF. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, in the previous episode, we lost Maria Hill. Do you feel like the show did a good enough job of allowing that to have consequences in this episode? Because it started off with the mom and the, you know, pseudo funeral thing with the, which is, you know.
It's kind of hard to say right now, right? Because like it was cool that they dedicated a whole scene to like seeing the repercussions of that, right? Because it's not just someone died and someone who we care about died. It's also that death affects other people, like her family members, right? And then he has to answer to them about that. And so it's like really strong, but we didn't really get to see him kind of
own it,
deal with it a little bit more.
He seemed fine. He seemed totally.
I mean,
except for one moment when the mom walks away, he seemed pretty fine, you know?
Yeah, like I feel like in order to make that pay off in a way, we'd need to have a scene maybe later on in any of the 4 other episodes that are coming where maybe he has a breakdown and talks about, you know, the cost of this.
Yeah.
But so far it seems just like, well, yeah, he's sad about it, but you know, he's got to move on, and you're getting glimpses of how the responsibility is weighing down on him and all that, but I would like to kind of see more of that.
Yeah. Maria Hill's death definitely had consequences as far as the plot is concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, Don Cheadle was like, you know, I had to cover it up.
Yeah, to clean up your mess.
Yeah, like it definitely had plot consequences. I just didn't know if it was clear enough if it had character consequences.
Yeah, like emotional consequences.
Yeah, like I kind of wanted to see that come through, but maybe it's all there in a very subtle way, and it just lost on me, you know, or it'll come through later on, like you mentioned. An important question I have for you is Don Cheadle. Is he a Skrull?
I don't know, man.
Because he knew that the Skrulls were a thing, and he gave his whole little, you know, dissertation on how and why and etc. And like. You know, at one point, Nick Fury's like, are you even listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's not even addressing the elephant in the room that Skrulls could be in his staff, you know, guards protecting him that could turn on him should it be required. And like, so Who knows? But this could come back. That scene with him and Nick Fury could come back later in a later episode where it's like, oh shit, you were right.
It's quite possible.
The scene was designed in such a way that what Nick Fury is worried about is hardly even addressed, which is, dude, you might be in trouble. And they did
I mean, it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility that Rhodey already knows and is just like, yeah, that's an eventuality that we've known.
That we're prepared for.
Yeah, that we're prepared for.
We don't need you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fired. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Get out.
Thanks for your service.
Yeah.
But like we care.
Yeah. And they did a nice job of explaining why we can't bring in the Avengers this time.
Yeah.
Because normally it's just like, why aren't you calling the Avengers?
Yeah. No, that was a good explanation because I guess the question we always have, especially after watching stuff like this, is like, okay, but why? Like, you're in New York or wherever you are in the world, and it's not like the Avengers are not international. You could just call them up.
Exactly.
They could be there.
Yeah. No, totally. You're right.
Yeah. It's like, no, this is a job that only Nick Fury can do.
Exactly. No, you want to keep it small. You want to keep a skeleton crew for something like this because you don't want it to get out of hand. You want to be able to stay in control of it.
Yeah.
And he went to the one person he felt like he could trust, and now he's on his own.
Yeah.
Sucks. Anyway, looking forward to the next episode. Would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Do subscribe, bell icon, all notifications. Vote this up. Please let YouTube know you enjoyed what you watched. And if you're watching this on Patreon and memberships, thanks so much for supporting us here. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is
Achara Kirk.
Peace out.